on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. The Ramaytush Ohlone understood the interconnectedness of all things and maintained respect and harmony with nature for thousands of years. As Swedenborgians, we share this conviction. We acknowledge the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples for their enduring commitment and stewardship, past, present, and future of these lands.
Morning. How are you today? Good to see you. Well, one small announcement is that retreat, I think the rooms are all packed. So if you would like to join, you could still join, but you may need to do camping. So we'll have a lot of teenagers this year, especially flying from East Coast, and 14 of them plus 2 adults leading them will be sleeping one night at the church on Thursday, September 5th. So I'll be announcing this, but if you have a sleeping bag, you don't mind sharing one night with a teenager, please bring it to the church. Give it to me, and I'll be storing them and letting them use it one night, and then you can take them back afterwards. And the coffee hour, again, our dear friend Lori, I think she's watching, joining us virtually, but she has a foot fracture, injured, so she's not here. She may not be able to come a few more Sundays. So we all need to kind of help participate, meaning bringing some food, and also today, hopefully some of you may be willing to also clean up after yourself too. Dishwasher is broken or let's say malfunctioning. So it's in the way to be repaired. So probably just be mindful of that. Is there any other urgent announcement to be made today? No? Okay. Now, let us be present in this space. Feel yourself on the chair that you're sitting, which was actually mindfully crafted with hands about 131 years ago. And this surrounding, the church itself, all mindfully designed to invite you to experience the divine and the nature and human in an intimate space. So let us be present in this space at this moment, mind and the body and the spirit together. And this beautiful flower is a donation from yesterday's memorial celebration of life service for Marsha Williamson. I was informed that she was a member of a church a long time ago, and she was married to Bob Morrill a long time ago. So we had a beautiful celebration of life service yesterday, and they donated flower for us. So today is worship and meditation, and we have Blue again, which is wonderful. And actually Blue will be joining the retreat too. So we will have something similar, but more with Blue as a Sunday worship. That's what I am thinking of at the retreat. In ancient days, people It's funny that one way I can imagine ancient days, because by a blessing or a curse, the small little village I was living 5 years or so, when I arrived there, they didn't have electricity. Modern day 1975, but that village didn't have electricity yet. So I experienced that, how it is to live without electricity. Like a little small lamp, and when that goes out in the night, it's like completely dark. There's nothing you can do now but just sleep. Or you go out and wonder, amazed about the stars in the sky. Our ancestors long time ago had much more probably mental capacity and room to think about matters much deeper than we are these days. If you can just reflect upon your day and how many minutes, hours do you spend simply deeply reflecting upon yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, instead of being connected to other people's thinking, other people's thoughts, and what other people do. I mean, I have a small device called smartphone, and I am connected to that world very often too. In that reflection and deep wondering, I believe in the East and the West the same, that they discovered there are very distinctive yet foundational capability, capacity, faculty that we all share. One is more or less connected to the word that we use, feelings, emotions, which generates basically all inner reality, psychological, mental reality we live in. Whoever claims to be not emotional either is lying or have a mental problem, right? We're all emotional beings. Because our reality is just basically built on the feelings that we have. As soon as you wake up, that's how feelings kicks in, and everything you do, there's one feeling after another. Well, when you're driving to church, somebody cuts in right before you, then other feeling comes out, right? It could mess up your feeling of in peace and blessedness into agitation and anger, right? So there is that. But then there's the other part, which may be connected to, but often may not be connected to, is our faculty. We call it logic, intelligence. We have many different names for it. Sometimes we use our logic to justify our feelings, which ancient wise people said that's a bad practice. And East and the West, all of them somehow share that our emotions, feelings, are real for us, foundational, but at the same time, they are chaotic, often confusing. And this is the part that sometimes kind of surprises us. It's real for us, but it could be unrealistic. Does it make sense to you? It is real for me, but it could be unrealistic. How is something that's real that is at the same time unrealistic? That's how feelings could take us. And that's where and how the emphasis on intelligence or logic happened. And this theme is really emphasized in the biblical stories, according to a guy named Immanuel Swedenborg. Feelings could be messy. Feelings could be unrealistic. Feelings could be confusing. But if we train it well, our intelligence, the faculty of logic, could be objective and clear. Therefore, this could be used as a vehicle to learn and implement something that we call the truth. So, today I would like to invite you to reflect upon it. Again, I don't know where you are, so I can't provide you any real advice on what you need to do, right? But my suggestion is first, with Blue's beautiful music, as you close your eyes, you can simply reflect upon what feelings am I having right now? How do I feel right now? Simple question, right? And why am I feeling the way how I'm feeling? And then you can move on to the other side of thinking that what is the truth about this feeling? Is this feeling realistic? Or is it just real to me? And I'm just suggesting you to reflect upon it, not to make an answer, find an answer, find a solution, critiquing, evaluating. These are not meditational practice. Meditational practice is simply to reflect upon it, to see how things are, and to have a deeper insight on it. That's all I'm suggesting. Okay? So let us close our eyes.
Genesis chapter 40. Sometime after this, the cupbearer, the king of Egypt, and his baker offended their lord, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and he put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he waited on them, and they continued for some time in custody. One night they both dreamed, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt who were confined in the prison, each his own dream, and each dream with his own meaning. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they were troubled. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in custody in his master's house, "Why are your faces downcast today?" They said to him, "We have had dreams, and there is no one to interpret them." And Joseph said to them, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Please tell them to me." So the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph and said to him, "In my dream there was a vine before me, and on the vine there were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, its blossoms came out, and the clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand." Then Joseph said to him, "This is its interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office. You shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But remember me when it is well with you, because please do the kindness to make mention of me to Pharaoh, and so get me out of this place. For in fact, I was stolen out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should have put me into the dungeon." When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was favorable, he said to Joseph, "I also had a dream. There were 3 cake baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there were all sorts of baked food for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating it out of the basket on my head." And Joseph answered, "This is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days Pharaoh will lift up your head from you and hang you on a pole, and the birds will eat the flesh from you." On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants and lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. He restored the chief cupbearer to his cupbearing, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But the chief baker he hanged, just as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him. The second reading is from Luke, chapter 16. Then Jesus said to the disciples, "There was a rich man who had a manager, and charges were brought to him that this man was squandering his property. So he summoned him and said to him, 'What is this that I hear about you? Give me an accounting of your management, because you cannot be my manager any longer.' Then the manager said to himself, 'What will I do now that my master is taking the position away from me? I am not strong enough to dig, and I am ashamed to beg. I have decided what to do so that when I am dismissed as manager, people may welcome me into their homes.' So, summoning his master's debtors one by one, he asked the first, 'How much do you owe my master?' He answered, 100 jugs of oil.' He said to him, 'Take your bill, sit down quickly and make it 50. Then he asked another, 'And how much do you owe?' He replied, 100 containers of wheat. He said to him, 'Take your bill and make it 80. And his master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the children of this are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than are the children of light. And I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you into the eternal homes. Whoever is faithful in a very little is faithful also in much, and whoever is dishonest in a very little is dishonest also in much. If then you have not been faithful with the dishonest wealth, who will entrust to you the true riches? And if you have not been faithful with what belongs to another, who will give you what is your own? No slave can serve two masters, for a slave will either hate the one and love the other, or be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth.
Both readings are quite rich and has deep meanings. Today, I don't want to go into deeper side of that, but simply kind of bring you into, I would say, a little more on focus. Like, just New Testament reading. It could be a little bit confusing if you read it just once, but if you read it a couple more times, you may get it. There is something Confucius said, something similar to this, is that in many things that he taught, one of them is that the purpose of wealth is so that you can use it to gain virtue. In the context meaning the favor of people. So there is innate desire of humanity, humans, that we want to pile up our assets. Whatever it is. If the wheat is the thing, then we want more wheat. If barley is the thing, then we want to fill our storages barley. Right? If the money is the thing, then everybody is chasing after money. The question that Bibles or Jesus is simply lifting up is, what is the purpose of you chasing after that? Do you have a purpose? Or chasing after that itself is your purpose? Then that's very sad, isn't it? And both Jesus and Confucius is kind of, in a way, pointing that you want that so that you can use it so to make people to love you. The essential lesson here is that our innermost desire probably is to be loved by others. And at the same time, you also have a desire to love others too. What stops us is fear. Fear of a lot of things. Fear of confusion, fear of misunderstanding, right? Fear of many different things. Now, if you move to the dreams that Joseph had, the Joseph interpreted, Interesting thing about Joseph's situation is that he was, as he was telling the cupbearer, that he was sold by his own brothers, basically. And he was taken as a slave. And then he was faithful to his Lord, but the wife was trying to basically tempt him. And he refused, and she accused him, and he is now in prison. Interesting, or something that we can learn from Joseph's attitude is that even in prison, he keeps his integrity. And he's still willing to serve, help. And he's not going crazy or he's angry all the time. And probably he's what? In his late 20s, give or take. How long was he in prison? We don't know, but at least a couple of years to 4 or 5 years. Was there any hope for Joseph to be released? Well, if you really look into that practically, there was none. only the Pharaoh who would pardon him, then he will be released. But what are the chances, right? So today, now you read the story about this cupbearer and this chief baker coming in, and Joseph giving them dream interpretation, and cupbearer was actually reinstalled. But what happened to him? He forgot. Right? He forgot about it. So this dream of cupbearer and dream of baker. You may wonder why the cupbearer had a favorable dream and reinstalled and baker not, right? What did baker do? The thing is, we don't actually know who they were and what they did. The Swedenborg's interpretation is connected to what I was sharing with you initially. In a symbolic way, baker kind of connects to our emotions, feelings. Or in a more realistic way, goodness, that good things that we do, goods that we do, or goods that we think we're doing. They're not the same thing. The good things that we do and good things that we think we're doing. Hopefully they're the same, right? If they're the same, that's a wonderful life. But they're not the same. So that's why the baker's dream, the birds came and ate the top part. So he was not able to serve the Pharaoh. The birds, just like we have a bird window, birds have beautiful symbolic meaning, higher understanding, higher intelligence. But on the other side, they are false understanding, confusion. So the things that we do, we believe to be good, are things that are out of our confused feeling and confused mind. They could be actually doing harm to ourselves and to the ones around us. But we believe that we're doing a good thing. And we accuse others that you're not understanding me correctly. I'm doing a good thing. That's baker's dream. The cupbearer's dream is a different one. So that's where it connects to the learning, the knowledge, the understanding, to be objective in an ancient way, to do self-examination, to look into myself. Okay, I believe that I'm doing a good thing. Is it really a good thing? How is it a good thing? Is it a good thing because it makes me feel better? Is it a good thing because I believe it helps that person? Or third, it actually helps that person? Our mind is a very, very complicated system that we even ourselves spend a long time to figure out why we're doing certain things in a certain way. And the big word that comes in Joseph's entire journey with this one is about transformation. Our emotional part, the reality built based on the way how we feel, could be confused one, could be unrealistic, could be not so heavenly. We need to learn a truer way to rebuild it. Not because we're wrong or we're born wrong or there's something wrong about us, but simply because we want to have more peaceful, more fulfilling, and joyful life for yourself and for the sake of people around you. And there's something that is blocking us, stopping us. So removing that blockage is in a way the transformation. And this transformation in a way is about learning, acknowledging a truer way and bringing into the reality that is built on our feelings and see what it is, how it is, and why it is. Every feeling you have has an origin. It came from somewhere. And it wants to achieve something. Even if it's a destructive one, it wants to achieve something. If that something is not favorable to you, you can stop it. You can transform it into a different one. So message from the Bible, Swedenborg, Buddha, Confucius, is not that we are so negative, we're so broken. That's not the message. Message is very positive and powerful, actually. We have an inner ability to, in a modern word, reprogram our mind and reinstill a different reality and actually live it. You are all empowered to do so. And partly that's in the message of these two dreams and interpretation, and partly in the message that is from Jesus. So, next reflection with the music, I would like to simply invite you to reflect upon, let's say, one emotion, feeling that is coming to you frequently, that you know is disruptive, not positive. You can probably look that up and ask simple question. Where are you from? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve with it? Again, meditative reflection is very open-ended, like just insightful practice. So you're simply looking at it and asking these questions. Again, no criticism, no analyzing, no psychoanalysis necessary. Simply look at it and lift up these questions. If there's no answer, that's okay. Okay? So let's close our eyes again. when I was in college, I was a big fan of reading all the myth and legend. And one of them was Chinese myth and legend. And there's one particular one that I still remember really well. It's about a fish wanting to become a dragon. Mm-hmm. You know, fish is about this big and lives in the water. Dragons supposedly live up in the clouds and control the weather. They're also very large. And in China, there's one place that there's very, very rough and like river that gets into the very steep fall. And one ancient name for that one was Gate of Becoming Dragon. The legend says that any fish that is successfully climbed all the way up this fall would become a dragon. Next time I'll bring a photo. It's physically impossible thing to do. It's very tall, very rough. Water's very heavy on that strong fall. So, in order for a fish to become a dragon, a fish has to journey going against the stream. Okay, river flows this way. A fish needs to go against the stream, all the way up to this. Jesus often said, "This world is against me." The way how we are born and raised and taught, we are born, raised, and taught to live a good life in this physical world. That's not spiritual. What is spiritual could sound or may appear to be against what is physical. At times you may feel like you may have to go against the current of the world to become spiritual. It may sound like you may have to go climb over that waterfall like becoming a dragon. Interestingly, however, all our ancestors, East and the West, regardless of any religion, they all talk about the spiritual reality that we have, that we are working on right now. If indeed you are a spirit having a physical body and having a temporary relationship and existence and experience, wouldn't it be really making sense to have some time for your spiritual growth and cultivation? Even if it feels like going against the trend and the stream. And it may appear to be against this world. Because what is in this world is not actually spiritual. Okay, now I'd like to invite you, I need to find the best good way to sound the gong. Gong meditation. And yes, please, this is the moment that I tell you, please forget about everything I told you today. Try not to remember, try not to write them down. Let them go, If any of that has any meaning to you, it'll stay with you, then that's good. If it doesn't, that's good too. Maybe next time you come back, I'll say something similar. And that time is a good time, right? All things happen in the right moment. So let's just, try our best to let all things go and let the sound come and wash your mind and the body so that you have a clear focus and calmness in your mind. Okay? If you would like, please close your eyes and simply listen to the sound of gong. Let's just sit and embrace the silence or any sounds that comes to you. And look into ourselves. What is the primary feeling you have at the moment? How do you feel? Let's just look into it. You may open your eyes. Okay, this is a ritualistic reminder that, again, let us reflect upon what we have and what we enjoy in this world and how grateful we are. And among all the things that we have, our time, talent, or treasure, what is it that we're willing to give back to our community, to the world, to God, to the people you love? May your life be filled with all the blessings as you become blessings to each other. May your life be filled with joys and delights as you become joyful and delightful beings to each other. Amen.